Hello, my sweet friends. It's Tracy. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I am sharing 3 Farmhouse Valentine DIY projects with you using items from the Dollar Tree, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, all of my favorite stores. I am also sharing some hand painting with you, as well as some tips for hand lettering. If you like country crafts like this and you are not currently a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and click the little subscribe button, as well as the little bell notification, so YouTube will notify you every single time I upload a video. All right, guys, thank you for being here, and let's get started. Okay, for my first project, I am making this little farmhouse heart shadow box using one of the larger shadow boxes from the Dollar Tree. Now, I was lucky and found one of these that already had the black and white pattern in it. The craft store does sell this type of paper if you like this design or any other design that you may like. I'm also using one of the wooden hearts that come in a 5-pack from the Dollar Tree. Now, what I'm going to do first is just give it 2 coats of red lacquer chalk paint and let that dry. This project is so super simple. I know that you have all seen it on Pinterest and everywhere else, all in the Facebook groups and all of that. But you know, sometimes when you watch other people do it, you pick up tips and tricks. At least that works for me. So then I take my little sanding block from the Dollar Tree as well and just go around the edges just to expose a bit of the wood. I like that kind of look. It looks rustic, farmhouse. I clean it off by using my tack cloth. I do have a link in my Amazon store if you would like to see what I'm talking about with my little tack cloths that I use to clean my little work area. Okay, so when I pulled off the circle, the actual wood block that rises, you know, that makes the little circle stand up and then gonna make my heart stand up, came off. So I just hot glued that down, and then I hot glued my heart on there, and that is so super simple and so cute. So now I'm taking this 7/8 inch black and white ribbon that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I am just making a simple little bow. I just made 2 loops, and then I just tied it like a shoestring. And so I'm just, you know, pulling my tails and then just kind of tightening my little loops and making sure that they are even. And sometimes I get a little frustrated with this because I'm like, oh my goodness, I could have used my little tiny attacher and stapled it and a Chanel stem and made my little bow, and I would be done and on to my next project. But anyway, I like to show you different kind of little bows that I like to do. And so I just cut off the tails, and sorry, I was a little out of camera there, but I take my lighter and run it across the edge of the cut, like where I cut my angles, and that kind of singes the ends so that they don't fray, because this particular ribbon is a grosgrain material, so it will fray a little bit. So I'm just going to hot glue that there in the middle, and that is done. I mean, it's so super simple, but so super cute. The little Valentine words that the Dollar Tree has this year. This love looks so super cute on this project. I decided not to include it on this particular one, but I just wanted to show you what it looked like, and it looks super cute. Okay, project number 2 is my farmhouse love block. I just am so inspired when I, you know, see so many things that people do with these love blocks in the Facebook groups, and like I said, on Pinterest, just so inspiring. So I am just sharing how I decorated mine. I am going to do stay with the farmhouse theme, so I'm using black and white buffalo check paper, and to finish off my sides and the back so that it all blends nicely, I'm just painting the sides and the back with just some black paint. And then I'm going to use a wooden heart for my O, So I am doing the same thing I did for the shadow box by just giving the heart 2 coats of the lacquer red chalk paint and just using my sanding block to expose a bit of the wood to give it a rustic look. Now for the paper, I'm using this black and white buffalo check paper. I get mine at Hobby Lobby. You can maybe get it at other stores as well. And I use those straight edges of the block to my advantage. I just turned it over so that I can cut out my paper and it would be the pattern exactly the way that I wanted it for the letters. And I just used my black Sharpie marker and as well as a pencil where I could get kind of in those crevices and the best that I could. And I just trimmed it out, and then using my scissors, I just cut out my letters. Now I decided not to cut out the middle part of the O because that heart is going to go there. It's going to cover it up, so it doesn't even need to be cut out. And then I'm going to Mod Podge these letters onto my little love letters. I did put a coat of Mod Podge on top of my scrapbook paper and let that dry. Then I took my sanding block and I just sanded off the edges because there's always a little bit of paper that kind of hangs over. If that doesn't bother you, then that is not a big deal. And then I'm just using my tack cloth to, just kind of clean up my little area, get all those little dust particles off. Now I found this ribbon over at Hobby Lobby and it was $4.99 for this roll, and it is 9 foot on this. It's metal, and so you just have to be aware for sharp edges and that kind of thing. And so I'm trying to figure out, because I don't want it to unravel like pop open like a Jack in the Box. So I'm trying to figure out how to keep it as much together as I can, but I end up needing to cut both of those little zip ties off. And then I just took a clip and just kind of held it together so that I could work with it a little bit easier. And then what I thought, I would just put it down there on the bottom. So I'm kind of playing with that, just trying to figure out the look that I'm going for. And I'm very happy with the end result. I found this metal ribbon in the specialty ribbon aisle at Hobby Lobby. The specialty ribbon is on the same aisle as the Deco Mesh, and I bought it when it was on sale. So I got it for $2.50 for this 9-foot roll, which I think is pretty good because this is actually metal little trim ribbon. And so what I did is I just cut it so that it would, fit on my letters the way that I want it. And then I'm just taking a little file and trimming off those edges. And then I just file the edges so that they are not sharp. And I figure out that, I was going the wrong way, all in, crafting. I'm like, what the heck am I doing, Tracy? You need to be going the other way. Anyway, so I just file off those edges so that they're not sharp. And, I really like the way that this little metal trim looks on this little love letters. I just attach the wooden heart with some hot glue there, and I kind of tilt it so that it looks kind of in the flow of the letters. And so now I'm just going to make a little bow, and I had just a little bit of this ribbon left, and I'm just going to twist it over, make 2 loops. Then I figure, oh, I'm out of staples. So I needed to put some more staples in my little tiny attacher. And so I staple that in the middle, and then I'm just going to make a 2-loop bow and then I take a chenille stem and gather it, because that kind of gives me the little gathering in the center. And then I just trim that off, and then I'm going to hot glue that on the heart. And then what I thought, it looked a little plain, so I decided to use a wooden bead and just make some curly cues with one of those black chenille stems, just to add a little bit of character to my little farmhouse love block. Okay, for project number 3 are my farmhouse dangling hearts. Now, I found this over at the Dollar Tree, these 3 dangling hearts. The hearts are on like little jump rings. And the first thing I did was I removed all of the tinsel off of the hearts. It didn't come off very easy for me, so I just cut it in different places and unwound it on each of the hearts. These hearts have those little nubs on the end, so I don't need those. Just took my little wire cutters and cut off around the edges, as well as those little nubs on the inside. And then I'm left with a smooth little surface like this where I can begin wrapping my ribbon and my little yarn. Okay, I am wrapping 2 of these hearts with this black and white checkered ribbon. Now, this ribbon I find at Hobby Lobby. You can get it anytime. I find it in the specialty ribbon aisle, and usually every Hobby Lobby that I've been to, it's always been by the wedding section on the same aisle across from the deco mesh. And so this ribbon, I love to use it. It is 1.5-inch ribbon, and it's 18 feet on this roll. And I was able to wrap both of these hearts with quite a bit left over. So you could almost wrap 3 hearts with this ribbon. Okay, next I'm using this chunky yarn that I picked up at Walmart, and it's a lot of yarn on here, so I'm trying to figure out some projects to do with this. So I wrapped my 3rd heart with the chunky yarn, and so that I could wrap it a little bit easier, I just cut off a section of the yarn, and then I'm just starting to wrap it. I'm not gluing anything, I'm just wrapping it very close together. The yarn was kind of going a little too sideways for me, so I left a little chunk so that I could go back and make it a little more even. And then here I'm showing you the little piece that I had off. I just totally guesstimated it, and I was super proud of myself that I only had that little bit that I overjudged. For the center of my hearts, I'm using these little wooden heart shapes from the Dollar Tree. I paint 2 of them with white chalk paint, and then the 3rd one I just painted with black paint. I also, I changed my mind a little bit as I was doing this project. I painted both of the jump rings with black paint, and I thought I was going to use those, just for the dangling hearts, but then I'm like, no, I don't want to use those. I think I'm going to use some wooden beads. So I changed my mind a little bit, but that's okay because it's all part of crafting. In between the hearts, I was going to just put wooden beads, like 1 bead with the jute ribbon, but I couldn't get it spaced the way that I liked it. It was odd spaced, and so that's how it looks, and I'm just not very happy with it. So later in the video, I'll show you what I did. But next, I'm going to make a hanger for my heart. And so I'm using this wire, and I like to get this wire over in the automotive section at the Dollar Tree. I'm using I don't know, quite a bit. I'm going to say I put it out the length of my mat, and my mat is 23 inches long. And so what I'm doing, I'm just actually just putting a little knot in there so that so my bead will stay, so it's not, won't slip out on the other side. And then I just start stringing or slipping beads on there, and I put 9 beads on this, and then I'm going to attach it to the top of my heart. I was pretty successful in just poking the wire through the ribbon and just, bringing it through the back and then just twisting the wire on itself. I use my needle nose pliers to kind of twist it a little bit tighter and just turn that wire down so it doesn't poke me. If you're having a hard time, you can always use your paper piercer. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will have a link in the description below to the wooden beads as well as the paper piercer in the description box below. Just hit the little triangle or the little see more description, and you will have the little links. So then now what I'm doing is here is where I changed my mind. I've cut off the jute. I was not happy with that. I've decided to use wire, and so I'm just twisting the wire on one of the little, each heart has a little extra little circle. And so then I'm just gonna do that, put one little bead on there, and then attach the other wire to connect the hearts together. I'm just going to hand letter and write out grateful on one of the hearts, thankful on the other white heart, and then blessed on the black heart. What I'm using is a number 2-inch liner brush. I will have a link in the description below to my favorite brushes. I get questions about that all of the time, and they are linked in my Amazon store. So then what I'm doing, I'm just going back over my letters and just kind of making them look a little bit, little filled out. And then I have a stylus that I just want some little happy dots. I just dip that stylus in there and just kind of go around the letters, just making little happy dots. I attached the wooden hearts to my other hearts by just hot gluing them, holding them for a few seconds, and just holding them so that like the hot glue attaches to the fabric. And my little project is complete thus far. I just love the way that this is looking. Of course, it needs another little bow. So I just take the same gingham ribbon and I'm just making a little bow. I've decided I'm going to show you how I do it by just making 2 loops, just making it like you tie your shoe. Just kind of fiddling with it, just turning it over so that it looks even. There's like a little knot in the middle, or I kind of pull it so that my loops are even. And making a bow for me this way takes way too long. So that's why I like to use my little tiny attacher and a chenille stem to make my little bow. And I'm done. Like, I could have already been done with this because it's just taking way too long, because trying to get those loops and get the center just drives me crazy. Anyway, but I do wanted to show you different little options at making a bow. Okay, guys, if you have made it this far, please leave me a heart in the comment, because I am going to send someone some happy mail. I appreciate you all so much for watching. If you recreate any of these, please share with me over in the Country Charm community. It is my Facebook group. It's a free community for you to share projects with me that I have inspired you to do, or you can share your projects that you create as well. I invite you to join me over on my Facebook groups. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great day. Remember, if you made it this far, leave me a heart in the comment, and I'm going to pick someone randomly to send some happy mail to. All right, guys, have a great day and God bless.